movie memorabilia. Wouldn't that be so cool to have in your man cave or lady cave? A stormtrooper helmet from one of the Star Wars movies. It's been a dream of mine. Welcome to Cool Collectibles. I'm Gabe Spiegel. So glad you're with us. Got producer Luke. Got Joe Brode from Primetime Sports and Framing, and we're talking all things movie memorabilia. You know, when you invite your friends over your party and stuff, and your whole basement is decked out and movie posters and all that stuff. Wouldn't that be super cool to have something like, let's say, like a cowboy hat signed by Chuck Norris? I would put that in a frame. I would put a spotlight on it. Speaking of, Joe, look at what? Are you kidding me? Chuck Norris, God rest his soul. We just lost him a couple weeks ago.
Rest in peace.
But Primetime Sports and Framing, not only do they do all the sports in the world, but the movie business is big business for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also think it's an untapped market, if that makes sense.
Okay.
A lot of these big actors and they go to these big shows, and a lot of people sometimes don't want to spend the extra money to travel to Texas, California, and New York.
Sure.
Right? I mean, it's going to cost you anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 between hotels and traveling costs and getting into the show. So I feel like it's an untapped market to go see their favorite characters or voice actors or so on and so forth. So that's where we've been bringing the live signings to eBay Live.
So you can have it shipped to you. You do these auctions on eBay Live. These super cool items like you got this Funko Pop signed by Harrison Ford. What?
Woo.
I mean, this would be something that you would feature on your eBay Live with movie memorabilia auction. This type of item.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have various different items. Funko Pops, props, 8x10 photos, frame photos, and depending on the movie, we have some signed jerseys as well. Yeah, we just have a variety of different stuff. And you got Lawrence Taylor over there. Speaking of jerseys.
You just had a big event with LT.
Is that from Any Given Sunday?
It is.
Oh,
it is.
awesome.
So it's an Any Given Sunday custom jersey that he signed. So,
Gabe, have you seen the Al Pacino speech in that movie?
Yeah.
It'll get your blood pumping, man.
I thought LT was a pretty good actor.
He was a good actor in that movie.
Did you see the autograph? So what was LT like? And you just had him at one of your signing events, which he has all the time in Canton and in
Great
North Olmsted.
yeah.
What was he like?
He was awesome, man.
LT.
He was telling some great stories. We had him on eBay Live, so anybody across the world could watch him sign autographs. And he's telling stories, loved signing, just had a good time. We really did.
What's that like? Tell me about, you do these signings all the time with Buckeyes, and, maybe a hockey thing coming up here soon. What's it like when folks have never been to one of your signings? How does that work?
Yeah, so it all depends on the signing rate. So some guys don't want to do public signing. What I mean by that is having fans come in and meet them. They just rather just be private, and we're able to incorporate the online sales to respect their privacy. But some sort of way you get to see your favorite actor, favorite athlete, whomever, either on camera or in person, right? We always try to push for public signings, but again, if this is the only way we'll make it happen, well, we got to bring him in for a private signing to mix it with eBay Live. Just respect their privacy, right? So we just try to bring any opportunity for that fan interaction possible.
And the rules change depending on the event, but generally speaking, you pay to get an autograph and pay to get a picture, sign up, and you have this information on all your social media channels and your website as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we just announced, give you an example, we're getting ready to announce, Raleigh Fingers to eBay Live and potentially a public signing, but we have Dennis Rodman coming up here soon. So once we announce Dennis Rodman, see the ad, you can go on our page, primetime12.com, go find the ticket you would like if you want a premium item to get signed, or you just want a basic 8x10 photo. Some guys have different menu pricing, or sometimes just one flat fee. And then you can purchase that along with your photo op. And then if you want certification as well, you can purchase certification for your item.
Oh,
so
okay.
You can reckon, hey, you know what? Dennis Rodman came on this date, and I got this item signed, and it could be in our database, and you're all good.
Sean Kemp and a whole myriad of basketball stars coming in May.
Yep, in May, and along with so many others.
Super cool.
Yeah.
So many others.
So you've had, I mean, I remember when we did our first episode, you were having Chevy Chase on. You've
Yeah.
had Harrison Ford. Like, is there any kind of, I mean, you've had some big names, you know, in the world of movies and stuff to be on these signings. Is there any, like, kind of sneaky, not as big of a name that turned out to be, like, a really cool person to do an event with?
William Shatner.
Okay.
We did William Shatner in, I guess it's 2024 now. Time flies. But we did William Shatner at one of our previous stores in Hartville, and it turned out to be a phenomenal event. You know, I didn't realize how big of an icon he was.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Star
Still.
Trek. He still is. But, you know, my time, I didn't watch a lot of Star Trek, right? But so when you bring these guys in, you just learn more and you just gain more interest, and you just want to keep diving in. Who's another guy like William Shatner that's out there that people love to bring in, right?
Right.
And just having those interactions, seeing him sign, seeing the stories he tells, just seeing the fan interaction with them, and see how many people just love him. It's just really cool to see, and that's fun.
We've traveled back in time to save an ancient species. So far, that's Jim Carrey doing William Shatner. You said Chevy Chase. You just had another event with Beverly D'Angelo. We mentioned this before. Oh, look at this. And you got this sign. Look at this. Isn't it? There you go. Look at it.
Oh, I haven't even seen the front of that.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh, sorry. Here we go.
You're good.
Oh, here we go. Sorry. Yeah, look at that. That's fantastic. And so, you know, he's there and having a good time, and they're signing autographs and taking pictures. And you do these, what? I think you've been doing these massive events like one a month almost anymore.
Yeah.
You never slow down, baby.
It's honestly, it's been almost every weekend, and we're always planning for the next one, right? So trying to stay a step ahead, and you know, scheduling is a big thing with us because we have so many guys coming in, coming out. Then with our online auctions, it's just constantly meeting and getting our schedule correct to, you know, bring in the next big event for everybody.
As a collectible expert, let's say I got a poster from the 1980s when I was a kid. I go to one of these events. I get Beverly, I get Chevy to sign something like that. And I get it framed up, and I hold on to it 5-10 years. Ideal ballpark, something like that might be worth in 5 to 10 years from now, and you want to pass it down to your kids?
No, it definitely, and you know, these guys, they're getting older, right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
sometimes they may not be signing much more, right? And they just don't want to do it.
Right.
So there does come a point that does happen, you know. In Chuck Norris's case, rest in peace, but nobody saw that coming,
Yeah.
you know. And so the value of his stuff has gone up because he's not signing anymore. So if you see your favorite actor or athlete that, you know, is getting up their age, don't hesitate. Now's the time to meet them.
Right.
You know, collect that stuff that you want to collect and you want to pass down. Just don't hesitate. That's my biggest advice.
Scarface.
Yep.
Goodfellas. You do one of my favorites. Anything Frank Sinatra and singers and that kind of stuff. You got that kind of stuff.
We're working on it.
Okay.
But again, our schedule's so busy. But we're planning out events. That is something we're in talks with, trying to figure out to get in that field.
How'd you get into this? What inspired you with the movie stuff?
What inspired?
Yeah, any like good movies from growing up that kind of got you into it in the first place?
Honestly, no. And I say that because, you know, I was not until recently I got inspired. But growing up, you know, I just loved to watch my favorite movies, you know, Adam Sandler and,
Sure.
you know, just watch movies. Never really thought about collecting autographs from my favorite actors until recently. And to me, I really feel it's an untapped market, especially for local fans as well, because they only go to the big, you know, mega cons, Comic Cons, so on and so forth. They don't come to Ohio.
Right.
Right. I mean, they do have a Cleveland con, but I mean, the sports industry, I feel like a lot of people don't know about the signings with the movie stuff. And, you know, with what we're doing and getting the word out, I feel like it's an untapped market for people.
Yeah.
I bet a tough part of your job is verifying things. I mean, when people come to these signings, they go, "Hey, look at this! I got this, you know, this old Star Wars, you know, a poster, and I had this sign." And they go, what's this worth? I bet that's a tough part of your job.
Yeah, it is, absolutely, and we actually deal with on an everyday basis. We always constantly get a phone call. I actually got a phone call before coming in here, so
Sure.
about something, getting the value of something, and you know, just using your resources to look something up, right, and looking at the autograph itself, and you know, trying to give the person the best possible answer you could with your knowledge, and help direct them to either A, get it certified, or you know, B, has all the certifications with it, looks good, and here's what I think it's worth personally. But something's only worth what somebody's going to pay you, right? And so if you're needing quick cash or you want to sit and hold it, give you those two recommendations as well. You know, one of the biggest marketplaces is eBay. So one of my first recommendations is always getting on there and look it up. You know, see if somebody has another one out there. You know, I can ask a couple of my friends or relationships, hey, do you know what this is worth? But getting on eBay, that's the first thing I always do. Get on eBay, look the item up, see if you find any information about it, see if somebody else has another one, what they're asking for it. You know, you can look at previous solds, and then get on Facebook, try to do some research, get on Google, especially if you have a really rare item. You just got to use all resources to find your information.
Would you say, like, when it comes to movie stuff, you know, memorabilia, signed stuff specifically, is eBay like the number one? Like, if you're trying to sell, like, let's say you've held on, like this, you have a poster from the 80s, like Gabe said, you've held on to it for a while, you got your favorite actor to autograph it, you've held it for a few years. Is eBay the number one place you should go to sell that, to maximize your profit? Or should you walk into a Primetime Sports or like a local shop that way? What is the best method to sell it?
I think your answer is to be patient if you have something that high value. Look at eBay, look at their fees, you know, because they have a fee when you go on there and sell. Look at their fees. You know, go to other places. Say, hey, go to auction houses. Say, hey, you know, what's your fee structure like? So I have this item. Let's just say it's worth $1,000. You know, if I sell it for $1,000, what am I getting in return for you guys selling it? Ask us and ask our fee structure as well. Depends on, you know, the full collection by piece, and you know, that's a conversation we could have, and go look at other big auction houses, Golden auctions. You know, they do sell some of the vintage stuff, and you know, working out a buyer, see if you can get a piece of the buyer's premium as well. But I think if you have a collectible like that, being patient is the best thing, and if you're not in a rush to sell it, get all your resources together to make a, you know, decision, right? Don't pressure anybody into you selling your item right away, right? Because it's your collectible.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
It's yours, and you decide what you want to do with it. You know, and if you want $1,000 for an item that maybe only sell for $800, well, hold it. You know, maybe you'll get $1,000 one day.
Right.
But and if somebody doesn't want to give you what you want for it, don't take it the wrong way either, because everybody's trying to make money too as well.
Right.
So
It's a very like you said, it's a very subjective market too,
it is,
you know?
and you just got to be okay. You know what? Hey, you know what? I understand. I ain't gonna get $800, but I'm just gonna hold it now, and go about both your guys' way.
What's this Chevy Chase jersey worth? Whatever. Well, someone's willing to pay for it, right?
Yeah.
That's a tough question to answer, but I got some more questions for you, including, folks, Joe Bro doesn't take, he gives, okay? Coming up after this short break, he's going to tell us what we really should be looking for right now. That next big investment, is it vote for Pedro's shirt from Napoleon Dynamite? Is it signed? What is it? What should we be looking for right now? And possibly how to make you some money off that. That's coming up after this short break.
Yeah.
Back to Cool Collectibles. You know, I got this Indiana Jones magazine signed not long ago. I put it in this nice collector's case. I wish. This is one of Joe Brode's items, but maybe you have something like this in your toy box, in the attic, safe. Look at this rating. That's a 9.8 rating. That's pretty legit, right, Joe?
Yeah.
So, you know, now you're thinking, you know, I regret not doing this as a kid. I regret not saving that stuff that I had. Now I really want to get into this because I got a little extra time in my hands and I want to have some fun with it because this is an investment. So what should we be looking for right now, Joe? I mean, like I said, vote for Pedro's, Napoleon Dynamite, maybe some Adam Sandler movie, memorabilia stuff. Maybe you get a golf club from Happy Gilmore Part 2, whatever. Where should we be investing our time right now, planning for the future?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I personally think that the trading card market is massive right now, and it's only growing. And so finding like a rookie card or like a very early year card of, Indiana Jones and the actor for Indiana Jones and Superman and
Wait, cards?
Yeah,
For the movie stars?
Yeah, so they make cards.
Okay.
Same with I'm drawing a blank here, but like Star Wars.
Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, finding
Marvel.
but
Iron Man.
finding those cards early year when Topps, Panini, and a couple other companies made for that movie or actors, and getting those signed, and then getting that autograph signed and graded. Looking at the condition of the card. Condition is always everything. So if you could find a pristine card and get that autographed and get it graded PSA 10 with a PSA 10 auto on card, that's some massive money right now. Because again, these guys aren't signing too much anymore.
Right.
So finding earlier stuff like 2000s, 90s, even 70s, 60s, early year stuff, grading it now, it's in pristine condition.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of money to be made.
Like, where would we even go? So I get a card. I get, Marvel. I get some Marvel cards, and I get all the Robert Downey and Chris Hemsworth and all that. And then
The Hobbits.
maybe, I'm sorry?
The Hobbit.
The Hobbit?
Yeah,
That's
Hobbits.
big?
Yeah, absolutely.
Whoa. And then hopefully try to figure out where some of these guys do some public appearances, some Comic Cons, wherever, travel if you need to, because it might be worth every penny and then some.
Yeah, absolutely. And if they're doing a private signing, you're just trying to find, if they're doing a signing, get that card signed, get it graded, and then it goes crazy. Just give you an example. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has not really a rookie card, but he has technically his rookie card is Miami. When he played
for the U.
For the-
played
for
for the
the U.
U, he has a card. If you get that card and it's graded at PSA, let's just say PSA 10, or it's in a really good condition, if that card's signed, the value is going to 10x, 20x value immediately. If that's the grade of the card.
Well, we were talking about Indiana Jones. I just did a quick Google search. I found an 1984 Indiana Jones Topps card for $9,000.
Whoa!
Money,
Yeah.
Imagine if you had that.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
But something like that, get that graded, and
Yeah.
the value is just absolutely crazy.
I can't imagine Harrison Ford is doing too many signings anymore. I mean, maybe?
No,
Every
but
once in a great while?
If he does, it's very expensive. So, like I said, if you have that, cards that you knew you collected back in the day that's just sitting in the attic, get those out because you could find some hidden gems.
Maybe you bump into him at the Los Angeles Sitco. Other than that, you're out of luck, folks. You are out of luck. Any other trends right now? Anything that you're surprised by when people come into your shop and go, hey, I was really hoping that we could find some Hobbit stuff.
Yeah, the Hobbits, and then people are also grading Funko Pops now. So the condition of Funko Pop, check the packaging, the corners, the condition of the Funko Pop. People are grading comics, as you can see. That's getting more and more popular. But the number one popularity right now is cards, signed cards. And graded cards.
You buy one of these Funko Pops, don't open it. Get the box signed. What do we do?
Yeah, so there's a different process with getting Funko signed, depending on if it's a private signing or you're getting signed yourself. So you actually can take that Funko Pop out of the box, but when you do, make sure you be careful and don't rip the package, because those Funko Pop packages actually can lay flat, and then you can send that in. They can sign it and then ship it back. Therefore, shipping something like that, you don't even got to worry about somebody stepping on it and ruining the whole Funko Pop package and everything. So it's easier to flatten it out and then ship that.
Did you hear what Yoda said when he first saw himself in 4K? You know what Yoda said when he first saw himself in 4K? HDMI? HDMI? Okay, that's our time. No more dad jokes. This is awesome stuff, man. Bottom line on movie memorabilia. You know, I don't know. You tell me. What's the most important thing that people who are trying to get into this right now be aware of? It's kind of an untapped market.
Yeah, I
Can
mean,
be depending
just
on.
check out the Comic-Cons coming up. I know the big one is San Diego Comic-Con, New York Comic-Cons, and I think in October. But if you want to meet some of these guys, get on Facebook or search on Google, Comic-Con's coming up, or search your favorite actor, and then type in signing or private signing or public signing at Comic-Con. Google search it, and sometimes it'll pop up, if they're doing an event. If not, go on Facebook, do the same thing. Just, use all your research and research for a little bit, right?
What do you have any dreams of any items, Luke?
I was gonna ask, you ever get like a real prop come through the shop, like used in an actual film?
Yes, we've actually had quite a few come through. I've had a couple phone calls about Superman's cape. I don't remember exactly which Superman movie.
Yeah, there's been a lot of them.
Yeah, but I get a phone call. I got a phone call about that.
Nice.
Yeah, would you buy this off me if we can authenticate it, whatnot?
Yeah, no, but I mean, some people have original cars from props at their house that we get phone calls about every now and then. But we get a phone call every day about something. You never know what you're walking into every single
One dream
day.
I've
You know
always
what'd be awesome? The original Wild Thing jersey from Major League that Charlie
that'd
Sheen was wearing. Because you see everybody wearing, you go to Guardians
Right.
games and there's people wearing the replicas, but imagine having the one of one,
Yeah.
the real Charlie Sheen jersey. Imagine what that jersey's seen.
That would be awesome. Dream of mine is to one day in my basement have a media room, a little mini movie theater, some Star Wars posters, and then that white stormtrooper helmet. Could be fake, could be real. I can't imagine something like from one of the movies though. $1 million, maybe $1 million.
You don't know.
It's worth whatever someone's willing to pay for it.
Especially a rabid fan base like Star Wars. I feel like you got
Right.
people
Yeah.
lining up to buy stuff like that.
Are they the biggest fan base? Are they the ones who are most rabid about movie memorabilia, generally speaking, because there's so many movies, so many characters, so many storylines?
Star Wars, yeah, and then you could argue Marvel. I think those are the top two, in my opinion.
Sure.
Just always asked about Star Wars and Marvel. I'm just trying to think. Those are the top two dogs.
Joe Brode, he does the mystery box. You do a movie memorabilia mystery box too.
We do.
And that is offered on eBay.
On eBay Live exclusive. They're 8x10 photos.
Okay.
We have a Star Wars edition and we have a superhero edition. So a superhero Marvel edition. Yeah.
Super cool. Give us all your deets, where people can find you, where they can send their questions. Coolcollectibles@fox8.com if you have questions about
Email us.
items. Coolcollectibles@fox8.com. Also to be introed into the mystery box contest that we'll have in our next episode. But again, how can we reach you on social media and whatnot?
Yeah, absolutely. So our website is primetime12.com. Our eBay Live is Primetime Sports Framing. And if you have any trouble getting on there, you can send us an email at coolcollectibles@fox8.com. And if you have a collection to sell or you want a appraisal or need advice about your collection, send us an email too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and of course you can email us here as well. Coolcollectibles@fox8.com. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing all the good stuff too.
Absolutely.
Movie memorabilia, perhaps an investment opportunity for all of us. Good stuff. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, producer Luke. We'll see you next time here on Cool Collectibles.